Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mur, also known as Mur Does, and if you are new here, this is a place all about my adventures with painting, and usually more specifically, my adventures doing plein air painting, aka painting outside. I share my authentic journey as I discover the world outside and all of the ups and downs that come with painting outdoors. Today's video is a special one to me as I go on a 2-week road trip up and down the West Coast with my husband. We planned this adventure together to celebrate our 10-year wedding anniversary and 15 years together. And fall is such a beautiful time of year to travel, and I was very excited to be able to capture all the different colors and scenery as we went. So grab your own art supplies, sit back, and join me as I take you through week 1 of our 2-week road trip adventure. Alright, so stop 1, day 1 was Mammoth, California. And here we are at one of the lakes of Mammoth Lakes. There are several of them. And it was a great first stop. It was so beautiful. I mean, just look at the way the sun is just shining off of the water. It's like sparkling. And of course, this video, the pictures I take will never do justice to how the scenery on this trip actually looked in person. But it was gorgeous. You can see all the trees were starting to change color, beautiful yellows, see some reds, and yeah. We basically just spent this day exploring a few of the lakes that were in Mammoth, and then we went back to the town and just had dinner and hung out and enjoyed each other's company. But overall, my goal, if not doing art, was to take lots and lots of photos. It was a great place to get reference photos for, future artworks and such. I have so much picture reference now that I don't think I'll ever get bored or run out of ideas. Alright, in the evening we finally got to our bed and breakfast, which was a very interesting little building. It was cute, it was quaint, it had a cute little kitchen that we didn't use. Here's a little view of it. I think after this we basically went and got some dessert that was a few minutes away, and then we hung out the rest of the night, and then I did some painting, which you'll see here in just a second. Now, because I was on this trip with my husband, I didn't actually film all the painting processes of the stuff I did while in my room. So here's just a little glimpse of the setup I had on the bed. There was no table to sit at to paint, so I came up with this little setup so I can just relax and get through the first page of my travel sketchbook. And here is the little intro page that I came up with. And day 2, we are headed to Yosemite. If you've been to Yosemite, you'll know exactly how beautiful it is, but it never gets old when you get there. It's just so beautiful. And this here is our first little stop where we saw a couple waterfalls. Yeah, try and see if the video will pick it up. Now, for those of you who may not have watched a couple of my last videos, may not know that this is also the same week that I quit my job. I have decided recently to quit my career as a healthcare worker and pursue this whole art thing full time. And yeah, this trip just felt like, I don't know, I felt a sense of freedom, and this trip really was the best way to start this next phase of my life. Alright, welcome to the first plein air painting of the trip. Now, for anyone who's been following my journey here on YouTube and watched my other videos, you would know that I'm actually pretty new to plein air. I started earlier this year in March with this whole journey of painting outside. So I would say with every piece I do, I'm still testing different ways to go about doing the painting. And in this painting, I decided I wanted to try a new technique of kind of dry brushing, like an underpainting before starting, and working out kind of the different values that I see to see if that helps make the painting process, one, easier and quicker. And so far, I immediately loved this technique. It's something I do a lot when, painting in the studio, and it kind of had an epiphany the other day that why don't I try this for my plein air painting? And I would say that it helped a lot without, not having to guess while I'm painting of, should this be a darker value? Should this be a lighter value? Because I laid those down with the underpainting, it kind of made the painting with color a lot more relaxing. So I was just following the guide that I had made for myself with that underpainting. And to be honest, I think that this piece is one of my favorites of the trip, and also one of the favorite plein air pieces I've ever made. There's something about water. I'm discovering that I love painting water. Maybe there's a lot more freedom with painting water. Unlike a tree where there's more structure and more shadow, I guess. Trees are still very hard for me. But water, it always has so many different colors involved that you wouldn't think. Especially the one that I chose here in this scene. It's something you can't really see in a video or a photograph, but in person, there were so many different colors in the water and the rocks in the water that it was fascinating, and I loved painting it. You'll see here soon that I start incorporating more like turquoise blues and lighter greens as I paint the water, and yeah, I love the effect. I feel like it made the painting look more lively because it was just so colorful and so beautiful. But yeah, that's a little thought on how I approached this painting and kind of my thought process going into my plein air paintings. I am almost trying something new every time and figuring it out as I go. It doesn't always go well, but like this one today, I feel like it went pretty well, and I remember having a lot of fun with this painting. And like I said, I think doing the underpainting made the process a lot faster, and I ended up finishing this one in just 40 minutes, and I was kind of impressed with myself that I didn't realize until after I saw the video of the painting was only 40 minutes. I'm like, wow, I did that in 40 minutes, and it was an 8x10. Sometimes it takes me longer to do like a 5x7. So I thought that was really cool. I feel like my painting is getting a little bit faster, especially when it's a subject that I'm more comfortable with, like the water. And yeah, I'm just gonna let you guys finish watching the process here. I really enjoyed making this painting, and I hope you guys like it too. I wanted to share with you guys one of my most recent exciting purchases, which is this wet panel carrier that I got from, was it New Wave u.go company? And you can put all your wet canvases in here and it won't get ruined while you're traveling. It was really nice to have the security that my painting is going to make it home okay.
Wow.
Alright, when you're on a road trip, there is no rest for the weary. So we are going straight from Yosemite to Lake Tahoe here. You can see Lake Tahoe in the background. It's a huge lake. Now, we didn't have a lot of time to do much here other than, you know, doing easy tourist stuff, looking around. It's a picture of my dinner. It was delicious. Now, since we didn't really have time to do another plein air session once we got to Lake Tahoe that day, I just, you know, sat down once we got to our hotel room and, you know, we got all lazy, and I just worked on some of my pages from when we were in Mammoth. And I apologize, I didn't film the painting process. I found that I didn't do a lot of filming when it came to my watercolors that I did in my rooms. But here's just a little glimpse at the end, and I don't know, it was relaxing and I had a good time just recording a few different things that kind of stood out to me on our day in Mammoth. Welcome to the next day. We spent the morning just doing some things around Lake Tahoe, seeing some of the scenery, and then we did a little stop here at this little viewpoint and did a little hike down like 50 feet to a little plein air spot. Now, I didn't spend a lot of time here. I just did a very simple watercolor, as you'll see. I just try to be cognizant that I have someone else with me and not to take a couple hours working on something. So
I like my fish.
You should make some fish stickers too.
Should definitely make fish. I do have the one fish
Which fish?
from my sketchbook. I just have to like change his like color saturation stuff. Saturation.
Now, speaking of doing plein air that doesn't take a lot of time, that's what I love about watercolor in general. It's so much easier than like an oil painting setup. There's less things involved and less setup going on. And so I think I did this painting in like 20 minutes. Very simple, but it was nice, and I'm happy I captured this moment here in Tahoe since we didn't have a lot of time there. And yeah, here's just a little video of my little process of doing this quick watercolor. Alright, now we are headed to a town called Klamath Falls in Oregon. And I made this little stop here at this random gas station in the middle of nowhere that had the weirdest little souvenir area or gift shop. And I had to try on the cowboy hats, of course. I don't know about you, but I've never heard of Modoc National Forest. So it was really interesting as we drove, seeing all the different national forests that exist from where I live to the north end of the west coast. Now Klamath Falls was just a quick stop so that we can then drive the next day to Bend, which is where I'm at now. We went by some art galleries, did some shopping, we went to lunch, and then we walked a couple streets over to a beautiful river that's right next to the downtown area, and that's where you'll find the next Plein stop coming up. Now, once again, I did not record the painting process for this watercolor. I truly didn't know if I would be doing plein air. I just had my backpack of things with me, like just in case the opportunity arose. But it was fun. It was enjoyable. I am still, like I said, learning how to paint trees. So I wasn't super happy with this painting, to be honest, but it's grown on me a bit since, you know, I think my perfectionism issues get to me, but you know, the more I look at something, I can see it for what it is, and you know, it's simple and it's cute and colorful, and yeah, you learn to be happy with things that aren't perfect. Now I discovered once we got to our room that our room had a great view of that river in the back. So I wasn't originally planning on painting, but once I saw it, I kind of had to. So here's just a little snippet of what I worked on at the time. And once again, I tried a new technique here, kind of like the oil painting from earlier. I tried to do like an underpainting approach with my gouache, and I kind of like how it came out, but maybe my values just were a little bit too dark, so it kind of messed me up while, you know, laying the color down. But overall, it was nice, and in the end, I had a great time, and it was very relaxing, and I'm glad I captured it. A potential painting spot, maybe. We'll see. Alright, welcome to the second location for Plein Air with oil paints. I picked this spot because I just love the golden color of like the fields that was there. And I thought maybe I could just do like a simple painting with like the field and with some trees in it. But I have to be honest, like I said in the intro, that I document my ups and downs when it comes to plein air painting. I consider this one a down. And I'm not just trying to be hard on myself or mean, but man, the whole time I was doing this painting, I was struggling. Mentally, I wanted to throw in the towel a bunch of times, but I kept going. But as you'll see, I try different things throughout to keep trying to save the painting. But yeah, watching back at this painting was a little rough for me. I could just remember the tension I had while painting this and the struggle, but I'm overall proud of myself for not giving up. And with every painting we learn something, and this is a painting of learning for me. Now, looking back at this video and watching it again, I try to think of like maybe where it went wrong, and I'm thinking it all started with composition. I think I should have made the fields more of a focus in the painting, and the trees I should have made like much smaller, considering also that they were at a distance. And that's kind of like what I liked about it. I liked the fact that it was like this big field with like these small trees in the back. And I think I knew that when I was doing my underpainting, that the trees were too big, but I just kept going anyways. And maybe it's an experience where I've learned it's okay to kind of start over. Like, if it's not good from the beginning, it's probably not going to go well for the rest of it. So I am happy that I can see that now looking back, which is kind of a cool thing about videotaping the process, is that you can kind of critique yourself and, you know, see what you can do differently or what went wrong. And man, looking back at this color I just laid down, I knew immediately that it was wrong, but I just kept going. So again, it's okay to divert your path and, you know, not keep going with something that's not working. It is a little funny to me, like watching back this video of me painting and how calm and chill I look, where really on the inside I was oh, I'm so frustrated and felt very tense. But you'll see here, the thing about not liking this painting or how it was going is that I figured, why not use this opportunity to experiment and try some things that I've been wanting to try but haven't wanted to like ruin a painting. So in a second here you'll see I pick up a palette knife and I start scraping the heck out of this painting, and I figured, like, why not use this painting to like see what that will do. So it was kind of fun to take my frustration out with this palette knife, and I kind of enjoyed this process right here. So at this point I was kind of drawing inspiration from like contemporary landscape artists, where a lot of their work is like really blended and soft and like almost like out of focus. So I was like, why don't I just take this brush and just like feather everything out and make it look really soft? Like, would it make me like it better? I think overall I do like it better with this like soft look, but again, I wish I didn't touch the sky. I kind of forgot that I did this part, and watching it I was like, what am I doing now? But in the end, the second half where I kind of destroy the painting was actually really fun. So once again, we learned something and taking that with me moving forward. Alright, so after that we drove about 10 minutes down the road to this little picnic park spot where a part of that river was going through it, and we figured we'd check out the scene. And there really wasn't much to do there, so we just ended up taking a few reference photos and then we headed off to our next stop. So after visiting the local yarn store, because I'm also a knitter and I love yarn, we spotted this really cool plant shop. It was the coolest plant shop I've ever seen, to be honest, like, you know, of indoor plants. It was huge. They had so many different like unique plants. So if you're kind of a plant nerd as much as I am, you might enjoy this next minute of video. And next we went to a like mall area called like Old Mill Mall, something like that. And they had this beautiful gallery and I loved this artist work. I think her name was Catherine Taylor, if you wanted to look her up. I wish I could have gone home with one of her pieces. And then after that we just kind of moseyed around the mall, and once again that same river is going by the mall also. This blows my mind, like Olive Bend has this beautiful river going through it. And that pretty much ends our trip in Bend. And then the next day, we are headed to Mt Rainier in Washington. I'm not really someone who has like a bucket list, but if I did, visiting Mt Rainier would have been on it. So to go here was kind of a big deal for me, and it definitely did not disappoint. Like every bit of the park that we saw was beautiful. It was greener than this video could ever show you. It was amazing. It was kind of my first glimpse of moss that I saw on this trip. Just moss all over the place. It was beautiful. But here's a little snippet of what I got there, and if only it could translate how it looked in person. If there's one thing that I had on my list of must-sees on this trip, it was like a river with a bunch of rocks just like this. So when I saw this, we were driving and I was like, wait, we have to turn around. I have to go back and see that. And it was perfect. It was exactly what I was looking for. I wanted to grab some reference photos for painting so I can practice / do some pieces that have like these rocks in it. I don't know how to explain it, but I was looking for this exact moment and I was really happy to be here. I spent some time, my husband spent time collecting some rocks. And then I didn't want to leave. But I'll show you in a sec my little collection of rocks that I got from here, and yeah, just enjoy the rest of the scenery of Mt Rainier.
Say hello from the top of Mt Rainier.
So not far outside of the national park, we stayed in this hotel that had the cutest restaurant across the street. It had this big old, what do you call that? I don't know. I think they call it the mill or something, but had that cool little wheel thing. I know there's a word for it. A bunch of koi fish that we can stare at the whole time we ate. I don't know, the whole thing just felt kind of magical, especially after like the magical day we had on the mountain. So it was a great way to end our day, and also delicious food, of course. Well, after dinner we got back to our room, we got cozy, and just a little side story about the giant sweater snuggie thing I'm wearing. My husband and I, we are kind of like Costco people, and when we were leaving Yosemite, we saw a Costco, and we heard that that day they came out with like a new type of sundae that they're releasing at like all the Costco's, and so we had to try it. So while we were there, we also went inside and we saw these giant cozy sweaters, and kind of impulsively each got one, and no regrets, not a single one. So to finish this evening, I decided I wanted to just work on my Lake Tahoe spread, just add a couple of things that I remember from our time there, including some really colorful like maple leaves that I saw, and I also wanted to paint a little scene from the scenic view that we went to called Inspiration Point. So I included those on the spread to end the night, and you'll see those here in just a second. Once again, I didn't record the painting process. I was kind of mad at myself for not doing it this time because I had a proper desk space and I probably could have, but maybe I was just tired from the day and just wanted to paint. So, I hope you enjoyed the spread, and from here that will be concluding our first week of our 2-week trip, and I will be coming out with another video in a week from now going over the whole second week, and a lot more art, a lot more scenery to go. I just could not fit all of it in one video without being about 2 hours long. So I hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.